It's still Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's get to our conversation for today. The federal government has deployed 10,000 Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps personnel to curb further attacks on the oil pipelines against the backdrop of the blast at oil installations in Rivers State between Sunday and Tuesday. The NSCDC spokesperson Afolabi Baba Wole confirmed the deployment of anti-vandal operatives to on Wednesday, stating that the operatives were tasked with protecting critical infrastructure and preventing pipeline vandalism, particularly in the Niger Delta region. The NNCDC hereby warns against the destruction and vandalism of critical national assets and infrastructure across the Niger Delta, as over 10,000 operatives have been deployed to collaborate with other security agencies to provide adequate peace and security of lives and properties. This came as the opposition lawmakers and organized labor protested the imposition of emergency rule in River State by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I still have with me Innocent Aduluba and Emeka Madunagu. Thank you so very much, gentlemen, for hanging on.
My pleasure.
Beautiful. Innocent, I'd love to start with you on this one. NSCDC. Of course, we understand what they do, but do you think they are good enough for the task they have been given, knowing what happens in the Niger Delta region?
Well, I had analyzed with you that since 1967, River State has had 10 military administrators. I think this can be called the 11th. I don't know if Emeka disagrees with me. And within the military, everything happens by proxy policies. I think the 10,000 is exaggerated.
Really?
Yes, but I think they will do a good job. Because the Attorney General and Minister of Justice has, Lateef Fagbemi, has said while briefing State House correspondent that the allocation to the state earlier withheld will be released to the retired Ibogete Abbas.
Yes.
And money is a big motivation. Just that this should not motivate them to be on edge and to be, they are not carrying guns, but let me use the word trigger happy.
Okay.
Because as it is now, that's an unquestionable force. We don't know what mandates they are given. And even Fagbemi, the Attorney General, said the President's declaration of state of emergency has nothing to do with Minister Nyesom Wike. That the President took a unilateral decision because they felt the previous explosions, Governor Simnalaye Fubara teleguided militants to carry out such a thing. So if you hear this kind of narrative from a government spokesperson, somebody like the Attorney General, the mandate will be to deal with anybody who looks like a militant. I doubt if they will wait to identify that, to curb further explosions. And these are the kind of scenarios where you find excesses on display that we cannot question.
Very, very true. Emeka, we understand, for some of us, of course, that were around, very much around when the militancy were very strive in the Niger Delta region. The NCDC bought minions when you talk about the battle against militancy in the Niger Delta region. The Niger Delta militants were very used to the military. They were very so sophisticated, and still the military couldn't even go as far as dealing with the issue as at the time, until Musa Yar'Adua, of course, draw out a truce that made it stem down for a bit. But I do not know, does this look like the police action of 1967?
Okay, at Garkem in Cross River State.
Yes.
Well, the NSCDC, the NSCDC's prime duty is to protect oil pipelines.
Prime duty?
Yes.
In the Niger Delta region?
Yes, across the country.
Oh, okay.
You have pipelines across the country. You have gas pipelines. You have a national gas pipeline network. You know, just like you have a national gas, petroleum, you know, petroleum network, you know. So that's their primary duty. We're actually not supposed to be seeing NSCDC in urban centers because they have no business in the urban centers, except maybe if they have to guard any critical infrastructure there. But their primary duty is to prevent pipeline vandalism. Now, over the years, you found out that their mandate has been severely encroached upon, just like through the pipeline contract given to Tompolo, you know, the Tantita Security Services in Delta State. So that has, you know, really eroded, you know, on their mandate. So not saying that you're deploying 10,000, it's just unnecessary noise. Because President Bola Tinubu is the instigator of the crisis in Rivers State. It's just a state capture.
Alleged instigator of the crisis.
I am saying it. My name is Emeka Peter Madunagu. I'm saying it. He is the instigator. Because you cannot sit by and allow your appointee, Nyesom Wike, to be threatening a sitting governor and you keep quiet. I'm not surprised at the comments of the Attorney General. Remember Michael Andwaka, who was Attorney General of Federation under Yar'Adua. When Umar Musa Yar'Adua was the president of this country, he was in a German hospital. Yar'Adua was in a state where he could not communicate with anybody. He was on life support. From what we gathered, authoritatively. But Andwaka came out to tell the world that Yar'Adua could govern Nigeria from anywhere, even on a sick bed. Remember when Buhari was away from this country? Muhammad Buhari was away from this country for 103 days. His chief of staff then, Abba Kyari, took some documents to him to sign in London. And Nigerians were asking, what is this? Just remember Andwaka, what he said. But I think some action was taken against Andwaka. So, you see, I want to let people know that while it may look like, oh, the governor did this, the governor actually acted in good faith. Immediately after the meeting, Tinubu convened of all the sides by withdrawing the defection suit against the lawmakers. I'm a historian. I'm a journalist. Almost 40 years in journalism. So I've seen so many things. So many things. And I speak without fear of equivocation. You know, without any equivocation. Because I'm really pissed off by the situation in this country. We fought for democracy. We're in the trenches, we're on the front lines. We fought for democracy. The military were not ready to leave power. But we pushed them out of power. Now politicians have continued. The same thing, if you read this book, The Fate of Africa, its author said that Nigerian politicians from independence kept baiting the military to take over power until the Nzogbu happened January 15, 1966. And this is what they have kept doing. What kind of reasoning would state that if politicians in a system are having problems, that is the military that can resolve it? I don't know who taught us that Nigerian politicians are the most naive in the whole world. Because that was how in 2014, Atiku, Amechi and Co. moved over to APC because they thought they were fighting President Goodluck Jonathan. At the end of the day, President Goodluck Jonathan did not win a second term, right? But what happened? Where is any of them today? All of them are struggling to be relevant because they were used and dumped. Tinubu intervened in the crisis in Lagos House of Assembly. In Ondo State, when Rotimi Akeredolu was a governor, he was ailing, he was sickbed abroad. Tinubu convened two meetings of stakeholders in Ondo State. Two. In fact, one of the meetings, Tinubu was about to travel abroad. I think on a state visit or a conference. Tinubu delayed his flight because he invited them. One of the people at that meeting was Senator Jimo Ibrahim. Another person at the meeting was the son I think the eldest son of Akeredolu. The current governor, Aiyedatiwa, was there. The speaker was also there at that time. They came together. And Tinubu was shouting at them that I'm the president of this country. And I called you people and I told you, allow Aiyedatiwa to run this state as acting governor. Let us see how things pan out. Let's hope that Akeredolu will recover and come back to his seat as the governor of Ondo State. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. And then Aiyedatiwa was confirmed as, the governor of Ondo State. Not too long ago, he was elected, as governor of Ondo State. You did 2 meetings. Rivers, only 1 meeting. You were not expecting that Governor Siminala Efubara will hand over the state to Wike. What kind of a thing is that?
Yes, very, very true.
You sent the Governor's Advisory Council to mediate in the Lagos Assembly crisis. Whom did you send to Rivers State to mediate in this? Why? Because of state capture. The president he has his eyes on Rivers State because Rivers State is the gold basket of Nigeria. Yes, it's treasure base of the nation. So he has his eyes on it. That is why they put a military administrator. And that is why I'm not disappointed. You see, Fagbemi, I've never really, really bothered about people because I don't like his style. So, when he was saying that what the English we could see in the Supreme Court's judgment that said clearly that the governor should go and represent the 2025 budget. That's the assembly. Fagbemi has now turned it to mean that the Federal Executive Council, and let me tell them, if they implement that thing, Nigerians are going to hold them to account. It doesn't matter whether it's 10 years, 20 years. They will be called to account. You see how Babangida is running up and down now. Now trying to, but the stench of his annulment of June 12 cannot go away. It's more than 30 years. But look at what he's doing. Now blaming Abacha, blaming all this. The stench cannot go away.
All right.
They will be called to account. If they try, look, let me tell you, I hope the National Assembly today will say no to that illegal move. Will say no. Because they should remember, when Obasanjo did that illegality in Ekiti State in 2006, in Plateau State in 2001, it was challenged up to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court declared it as illegal. Because there is no provision in the Constitution for that. On a radio program this morning, somebody, the host was telling me that there is one emergency provision, blah, blah, blah. I asked him, is it in the Constitution? He said no. I said, anything that's not in the Constitution must, step down for the Constitution. The Constitution takes precedence. That let anybody do what they like with power today, but they should remember they will not be in power always.
Very true. They will not be in power always. Innocent Aduluba. It's easy for us to say President Bola Ahmed Tinubu intervened in issues regarding similar incidents in other states, but that was because these states in question under reference are his party states, they are APC states. So for the PDP, it's a different ball game. And remember, we play politics with respect to party lines. Do you think it would have been that easy for Bola Ahmed Tinubu to call the attention of stakeholders who do not belong to his party? We, of course, do respect the fact that he is the president. But remember, like I said before, politics is played on party lines. Do you think it would have been successful?
The fact that Rivers State is a PDP state does not present the same scenario like Lagos and other states. But the president has a presidential fiat.
Thank you.
Which, at that, he is the commander-in-chief. And the state of Rivers is an appendage of this country. And every state, smaller they are, is a concurrent territory that is a microcosm of the entire country. Governance exists there. That concurrent list means that the government of Rivers State and the federal government shares some powers in lawmaking before falling it entirely to states and then local government. 2, Minister Wike is let's use that word now, a bosom friend of the president. Sometimes those kind of people are easy to call to order.
Really?
I hope I'm right.
He's also an appointee.
When someone is your bosom friend. Secondly, Minister Nyesom Wike is a staff of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So a staff can be called to order by the person who appoints them.
So you think the pedigree of Nyesom Wike, knowing how instrumental he was to having President Bola Ahmed Tinubu ascend the throne, it could just be seen as a mere staff?
What is he?
Just
Technically, he is.
just a mere minister.
Yes,
So what is it?
Was he the only one who helped? El-Rufai who helped Tinubu in the north was not made a minister.
No, I want Henry. Hold on, please.
Yes.
Ministers are staff of the president at the federal executive.
Yes.
No, not staff of the president.
Yes. When I say staff,
Of the government. But they
sorry.
report to the president.
The president is the head of the government.
Yes.
The ministers are part of the government who report to the president. I hope that is in order now.
Yes.
Let's leave the word. So, Minister Wike reports to president. His position, Henry, irrespective of the political trajectory of the antecedents and ascension of the president, is not overbloated.
Well, I understand that. Yes, I understand
minister
that. Yes.
is a minister. Look, if he is bigger than what he should be, that is an anomaly in this case.
Yes.
In response to your question of how would the president have intervened, is why I'm answering this way.
Okay.
That looking at the relationship, there is a big cordiality between Minister Nyesom Wike and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, such that if the interest, yes, the president is of the APC extraction, but there is this live and let live. If the interest of the PDP was also with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, not losing an election in this case, things are how they are. The PDP are already in the majority. For the purpose of calm administratively between Governor Fubara, a constitutionally elected governor, and the Rivers House of Assembly, my brother, if the president's intention was to midwife orderliness, I doubt if he couldn't have achieved that. But you see, the first thing I've seen him done publicly, under camera, is the reading of that declaration of state of emergency. 2, it means that what happened to him under President Olusegun Obasanjo, where state funds were withheld, the president, who frowned at that at the time, has carried it out against Governor Fubara. And in a matter of hours, after appointing a sole administrator, Fagbemi tells us it will be released. The files, the allocation, the dispensing being done by a governor are now within the portfolio of a sole administrator, who I doubt, that's my thinking, can be put to question like a constitutionally elected governor.
Yeah, very, very true. I truly do understand it, because the reason I was basing, comparison of the person and the personality of Nyesom Wike and his level, in the polity that we see today is, looking at the party lines that I did say, whatever is said to Simenalayi Fubara, he has to report back to his party people. And Nyesom Wike had rightly said that Simenalayi, I would love to quote him now, I gave you a sweet food to eat in peace, but you decided to listen to people who told you that you have money, but money is not everything.
Anyway, I'll be brief, Henry.
Yes, please do.
You see, we're at crossroads. The powers of an elected, you see, as we speak, Minister Nyesom Wike has just blighted the Nigerian Constitution.
How?
And with the position of Governor Fubara now, a minister externally, because they were the two principals in the actors in the field, a minister has defeated a constitutionally elected governor, irrespective of the pronouncement coming from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And the only dissenting voice for now, are the South governors, where their president or chairman, I don't know what their title, Doyediri, a neighbor, to
Rivers.
Fubara has led. They said the president has that power in Section 305, but it falls short of Section 188. Now we await that there is a 48 hours ultimatum for the National Assembly, but as we speak, the House of Rep has endorsed the state of emergency.
Wow.
As we speak now, it's breaking news. So, like Emeka said, it will smack of almost annexing party state-wise. You know, Rivers State is the treasure base of Nigeria. Minister Nyesom Wike, what political party is he a member?
Well, he is almost gravitating towards the APC.
No,
knowing that
what is the status quo?
He had
The status quo,
yes,
officially. You know, and that's where the People's Democratic Party, to me, are guilty of pampering Minister Nyesom Wike. I'm sure they have rules. They have rules. How do you accommodate openly a member with one leg here, one leg there, and you can see what that is costing your party?
Yeah, very, very true. Emeka, yesterday we looked at the cost of the pipelines and what it will take Nigerians to be able to get back to itself again. $35.5 million is what it will cost Nigeria every day those pipelines are not functional. And as it stands today, we do not know what the breaking news in the future would look like. But like David Briggs, one of the stakeholders in all of these things, had said that the Ijaw people would not take this lying low. 10,000 have been deployed already to man the pipelines. Do you think we'll see this coming? A situation where we won't see bombing of our pipelines. Then the one that happened in Ikwere, do you think that was part of lots of people have said conspiracy theory of the Ikwere people, being part of that just to instigate the state of emergency?
No, well, let me just say that the bombings are still being investigated. But it's sad that the House of Representatives, that used to give hope to Nigerians, has endorsed this illegality. And let me tell them something. Posterity will judge all our actions. And it won't take long. It will not take long. Because, you see, when you endorse illegality, because you want Bola Tinubu to have his way, always, it will touch everybody. What goes around will come around. And one thing they don't realize is this. The action is patently illegal. It cannot stand. Two, that the PDP allowed it is because, very sadly, big wigs like Atiku Abubakar, who should have upheld the PDP, chose to abandon the PDP in 2014 to move to the APC because they wanted to run for president. But at the end of the day, they ended up helping Muhammadu Buhari to become president in 2015. By the time they realized that they were not going, he realized he wasn't going anywhere. People like him, Kwankwaso, they moved back to Atiku moved back to the PDP. It took Kwankwaso a long time to leave the APC. But what happened? So you can see the APC now got into internal contradictions. Whereas it was easy in 2019 for Atiku and Peter Obi to form, to run
a single ticket.
But in 2023, what did we have? Governor Kowa of Delta State, found a way to get himself into the ticket of running. After Nyesom Wike had frustrated Peter Obi out of PDP, and then, what do we see today? We've seen the bombing. They are still being investigated. But the ruptured pipelines will be fixed. Let me tell you. It is still, you cannot, the Attorney General, without evidence, without any investigative report, said the governor provided the leeway for military. That's a heavy statement. And I hope in time to come that the minister will be called to question, will be called to answer over, for that comment. Because it is a grave allegation. which should not be allowed to go away.
Very, very true.
And mind you, I've been calling for reforms.
One
of the
reforms
reforms
particularly?
is the voting pattern in the House of Rep, in the Senate, in our houses of assembly, because Vanguard reports that the House of Rep using voice vote with 243 members in attendance. This kind of grave
And it's
national
supposed
issue.
to be 369.
Okay, so 243 members. Now, this should go through a digital vote. So I will see where my own representative voted. Is that the yearning or position of my constituency? This is a paradox of representation. So when will Nigerian National Assembly or the houses of assembly have a digital? Look, we voted you, we know your face, your identity. Now we don't know where you voted. You saw in the case of the Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, something similar like this. In the case of a state of emergency, the voting is blanket, cloudy, voice vote.
And the constitution says that all members must be present. 369 members. You have just how many?
243 from the Vanguard. But will they be looking at that constitutional option, or is just fly away, Peter?
I wish them all the best, but let me tell you, if these people wreck this democracy, I know what I saw. I was born into the military era in Nigeria. I lived through the military era. And I saw things that, honestly, I cannot forget. If these politicians, through all these maneuvers and everything, wreck this democracy, I'll leave it. Let it be hanging in the air.
we sincerely
I'll leave it hanging in the air.
we sincerely do not hope for this. I still it's a flashback actually to when the Labour Party deputy of Peter Obi was granted an interview on national television, and he said something very striking there, that illegality would not work. And if the person of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is made the president, that his regime actually would mark the end of democracy. Even if the host actually tried to caution him on that, he still stood by that word, that if this is allowed, this will be the end of democracy. And just like Emeka did say, I do not know, just like you equally said, that politicians in Nigeria are baiting, what they can't even stop.
No, what it has become is that whatever Tinubu says is the law, is what goes. But let me tell you, Obasanjo even did worse than Tinubu. But today, the same Obasanjo is going all over trying to wash his garments white, but he cannot.
Has he even said anything about the...
He hasn't said a word.
Because, of course, he's guilty of...
Where is Professor Wole Soyinka, the Nobel laureate, who was attacking Obi supporters?
On this case, actually.
Where is he? Where are all of them endorsing illegality?
And then I am surprised that when things like this happen, all the college of the SANs, the senior advocates, are quiet from the legal corridor. So they can throw more light on things like this. The only person, but of course that's preposterous, was the former Attorney General, Adoke. He has wrote a book saluting President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan for declaring state of emergency in Adamawa without removing the governors and local government chefs. That's most commendable. And the precedent was in the case between Attorney General of the Federal Republic of Nigeria versus Attorney General Lagos State. It was so argued that where a state of emergency occurs, the principal officers should be there. The state of emergency is to open the door for federal help to quell what the issue is, not to remove people from their seat. But of course, the veto is at the disposition of the president. So maybe that's what we are seeing.
Very, very true. And of course,
The veto is the prerogative of the president.
even if it is not what it should be, because of Nigerians have come out to say this is not what democracy should look like. How is it that the president who fought against the democracy with Nadeku, who himself in 2004 said that the federal government of the day, that is Olusegun Obasanjo, were after him, is the one that is making this possible at the time when everyone should learn from him? It's actually quite regrettable at this point in our nation's democracy. Since 1999 till today, one would think that we would see a day when Nigeria would celebrate peacefully.
And presently,
100 years. Yes.
there are 35 states with civilian elected governors, one with a military sole administrator in Rivers State, which I doubt that's an anathema. Hasn't happened like that before.
Very, very true. We just hope this would come to an end anytime very soon, and wish the people of River State well and Nigerians well also. Thank you, gentlemen, for being part of
Thank you very
today.
much.
Truly do appreciate you. All right, people, that's just about the time we have. I'd love to say thank you to you once more for being part of it. Please do well to visit us. You can read on this particular episode on our social media platforms, or rewatch that when you visit us at Enterprise TV 7, and you can equally go to enterprisetvnews.com to check out this and more. My name is Henry Gwibike. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.